Welcome to Part 6, the final chapter of this Ibanez Prestige RG655 restoration series. Today we're finishing what we started. As promised, we're installing the Elixir strings and bringing this guitar fully back to life. Let's wrap this project up the right way. I'm using Elixir strings in gauge 10 to 46. That's my go-to set for a guitar like this. Tight enough for rhythm work, flexible enough for bends, and super consistent in tone and feel. After blocking the tremolo in the back cavity, like I explained in the previous episode, I turn the guitar back around. Now here's something important when working with the Ibanez Edge tremolo system. You see this integrated line on the tremolo base plate? This line must be perfectly parallel to the guitar body. The tremolo itself is slightly angled on top, so don't use that as your visual reference. Always use the engraved line. If you block the tremolo, make absolutely sure that this line sits parallel to the body. That guarantees correct alignment once everything is back under tension. Next, I unlock the locking nut. I remove the 3 Allen screws and carefully put the screws and the locking clamps aside. Always keep them organized. Losing one of these mid-project is not fun. Before cutting the strings, I always release the tension first. Strings under full tension can snap back aggressively when cut. They can hit your hands, your face, or even damage the finish. So I loosen them properly, then cut them with side cutters and remove everything cleanly. With the strings off, it's the perfect moment for fretboard care. In the previous episode, I applied a layer of carnauba wax. Now I'm nourishing the wood again with feed-in wax. Since I leveled and dressed the fretboard earlier in this restoration, it's important to feed the wood properly. You don't want it drying out or becoming brittle over time. I let the wax sit for about 10 minutes before wiping it off. While that settles in, I wipe down the body with a microfiber cloth and some guitar polish. This removes fingerprints, light smudges, and gives everything that final clean surface before restringing. Details matter. Now we open the Elixir package. I always start with the low E string. Important for any Floyd Rose style system. You need to cut off the ball end first. Then, using a 3mm Allen key, loosen the saddle block screw, insert the string, and clamp it down securely. After that, I pull the string through the tuner. Here's my method. I measure roughly 2 tuner posts of extra length before winding. That consistently gives me 2 to 3 clean wraps around the tuner post. Not too much, not too little. It keeps things stable and neat. At this point, I switch to a time lapse. You don't need to watch me repeat the same process 6 times. Let's keep things moving. And just like that, the last string goes on. Now comes one of the most important steps, stretching the strings. The better you stretch them now, the better the tuning stability later. I use a dedicated string stretcher tool and carefully work across the entire fretboard. This takes time. Don't rush it. Once properly stretched, I tune the guitar to standard tuning. When everything sits perfectly in pitch, I lock the nut again and tighten the 3 screws evenly. I trim the excess string ends at the tuners. Then I go over everything with a soft brush to remove dust or tiny debris. The guitar gets flipped over one more time for final polishing on the back. Microfiber cloth and guitar polish. Then the same treatment on the front. One last pass to remove fingerprints and protect the finish. Now it really shines. Time for the final setup check. I'm measuring the string height at the 12th fret. On the low E, we're sitting at exactly 1 millimeter, which is about 0.039 inches. On the high E, it's 0.5 millimeters, roughly 0.020 inches. That is extremely low action. Honestly, I very rarely get a guitar dialed in this flat without running into buzz or stability issues. But this one handles it beautifully. The fretwork, the neck, the overall geometry, everything just came together. It feels incredibly fast under the fingers, super smooth, and still clean and controlled. This is one of those setups where you know you nailed it. And that's it. One last look at the guitar. This Prestige RG655 is officially restored and ready to go back to its owner. If you enjoyed this series, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Now let's hear how it sounds.